What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sports Freaks Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Patrick Cummings, and here with me today is...
Marcos Martinez. What's up, everybody?
Tough day for Bulls fans as the Bulls come off the loss against the Miami Heat, 112-91, and it was just a pitiful and heartbreaking loss for Bulls fans. Me and Marcos were watching that last night. But before we get into the Bulls versus Heat playing game, let's recap on the first playing game with the Bulls and Hawks. And it just looked like after the Bulls came off the win against the Hawks that you had a lot more confidence heading into the Heat because Jimmy Butler was out, and you thought that the Bulls were going to play remarkable offense. And they played so much good defense against the Hawks that it raised our hopes. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Marcos?
I mean, with the game against the Hawks, we had all the momentum in the world. I mean, no Jimmy Butler, like as you said, and I don't know what is with Miami and the fans, but the arenas never always sold out for Miami, so it was pretty much not. It was, you could say, quote unquote, home court advantage for Miami Heat, but not really because their fans aren't really there. So we had most of our guys are healthy. Of course, we're just missing our Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine.
And Patrick Williams.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. He was injured for the remainder of the season. But we had all the momentum in the world. I mean, Kobe White had 42 points against the Hawks. We were playing magnificent defense.
He looked confident.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, these were just like flunky shots or, these were confident shots from Kobe White. And DeMar DeRozan, he had 22 points, if I'm not mistaken, for the Bulls. Yeah, right on the 20-point mark. And, Alex Caruso, I mean, he did get injured or banged up in that case. He still ended up playing against the Heat. Him and Drummond collided together. And obviously, I would assume who had some problems. Andre Drummond had some injury problems as well. Again, you're heading in. You had all the momentum. Defense, offensively, Jimmy Butler's out, and you lose 112-91. So now we head into the Bulls versus Heat recap. What did you think?
It was honestly disgusting to watch. It was a horrible experience to watch because, my gosh, they just could not buy a bucket. I mean, you saw my reaction. We made now the Bulls shot 30% from 3-point range. As a total from 3-point range and 2-point range, they shot 38%. The Heat shot 46%. Wow. I mean, yeah, that percentage is just night and day. I mean, from the start of the game, we made the first couple of shots. And I was like, okay, we're going off to a great start, and then we just couldn't buy a bucket after that. It was horrible. It was horrible to watch. Kobe White was not the same player as he was against Atlanta because he didn't get as many shot opportunities because obviously he started off hot against Atlanta, so that's why he was able to get that hot hand going through the whole game, and he didn't get that hot start at all against Miami. First it was DeMar DeRozan and then Nikola Vucevic, and after that, we just couldn't buy a bucket.
Nobody could buy a bucket.
Nobody could buy a bucket. And another thing about that, too, was it wasn't just the shooting. It was taking care of the ball. The turnovers were...
Yeah, they were absolutely terrible.
They were absolutely foolish turnovers. I mean, basketball, you got to learn how to take care... You got to know how to take care of the ball, like trying to minimize turnovers as much as you can.
Well, the Heat had 15 turnovers. The Bulls had 12.
Oh, I didn't even know it was that. I didn't even know it was all that close. But the thing is about Miami, shooters everywhere.
Well,
everyone on that team has the ability to shoot.
I think what made the turnover so backbreaking.
They were big turnovers.
Backbreaking is that the Heat capitalized off them.
Yeah,
and whenever the Bulls got turned over, they couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, and those turnovers, they needed to score in those possessions more than anything. They needed to get some sort of bucket to get themselves going, get themselves warmed up, and that honestly, that didn't happen. I mean, they turned the ball over. Miami capitalized tremendously. Tyler Hero played an amazing game.
Kevin Love.
I mean, I mean, the defense was also a big struggle for the Bulls too. I mean, we let Kevin Love, who's been in the league for 17 years at this point, penetrate to the rim so easily on Andre Drummond, who's not significantly younger, but he is still younger than Kevin Love.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was like, come on, you can't. He's old. He's very injury prone. You can't let him just walk all over you like that. And also, Jaime Jaquez, one of my favorite rookies in the league this year, played an excellent game. He was all over the place, hustling. And the ability to score for him is so effortless. I mean, it was just a great game for Miami all around. And they proved without. I mean, we saw the statistics where they're a winning team without Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler brings such
more
intensity.
energy.
Yeah,
energy.
brings a lot more energy to the team. But honestly, they
obviously
proved.
you still have guys like Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo too in the paint. Great, one of my favorite centers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Undersized center. He's like 6'9", 6'10", undersized for sure. But he's got really good heart. He always hustles. He defends. He's an excellent center in the league.
I'll say a thing too is that what the Hawks didn't do against the Bulls in the first play match that the Heat did, and that was blitz Kobe White and DeMar DeRozan. You see them double team every time. Yeah. You saw the Heat double time Kobe White and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Anytime they got the ball.
Oh yeah. Immediately, like Eric Spoelstra, you got to commend him for being such a great. There's a reason he's been for the Miami Heat's head coach for this long. It's because he knows what he's doing. He knows how to make adjustments. Unlike Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan also, I mean, yeah, I got to criticize Billy Donovan. The amount of times where I got to see what he was talking about in those timeouts, because every single time they called a timeout, what did he say? Because there was no real improvement in the game, no real adjustment, no real game plan. What did he say during halftime? Because
a lot of blame towards Billy Donovan.
Yeah.
In this game.
Yeah.
I'll say this about Billy Donovan is that he is not a coach that will take you to a championship. Mm-mm. He will develop young players into stars.
Yeah.
I guess that's one thing you say about him. Yeah, I like
what he did with Patrick Williams. He taught him to be more aggressive in terms of scoring and stuff like that. Because Patrick Williams, his first couple seasons, he was very low key on scoring.
Well, he had low confidence.
Yeah, low confidence, but he gave him that confidence. He established that.
Yeah.
Zach and the leadership with DeMar.
Coached. Well, Billy Donovan coached Westbrook, right?
Yeah, he coached that Thunder team that did go to the finals in 2012.
Yeah.
So he has been. Kevin Durant, James Harden as the sixth man, Russell Westbrook as their starting point guard. So he's been to the big dance.
Serge Ibaka.
Oh yeah, Serge Ibaka too. But he's been to the big dance. But they couldn't get it done because obviously LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh.
Yeah, those guys are in the prime.
Yeah, Billy Donovan's been to the big dance, but honestly, for this team, this Chicago team, he doesn't know how to make certain adjustments to get him to, execute certain plays
or stop a run
either. Yeah, stopping the runs were the biggest issue because they were going on a 10-point run, call timeout, and then they would get like another 10-point run.
Yeah, and then so now since the season's over, next year's probably the last dance for that core of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic.
DeMar DeRozan's already a free agent as well. Javonte Green.
Yes, but I mean there were some rumors that he might want a long-term deal. Yeah, or he might want to stay for a little bit.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan does love the city of Chicago. He loves being here. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised he wouldn't want to go home to Los Angeles, possibly to the Lakers or Clippers, but he loves Chicago. The city loves him. I love DeMar DeRozan is my favorite player personally on the Chicago Bulls. So if he comes back, that'll be fun.
And obviously you possibly might have Lonzo Ball coming back, which the expectations are pretty high.
Yeah, Lonzo. Honestly, my expectations aren't high for Lonzo in terms of how unlucky he's been throughout his career with injuries. I mean, we saw when this core first got together, Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso.
They look like they're having fun.
Yeah, they were having fun. They were great defensively. Lonzo being a great playmaker and a better shooter. That was the first year where we saw Lonzo actually being a good shooter for the first time in a long time since his college days. Because he's honestly his rookie years with the Lakers, he was struggling shooting. The Pelicans, he was getting better, but then the Bulls, he was starting to really shine. He was being like a 40% 3-point shooter. And Alex Caruso being a great defensive player, and he's a really great role player. He's very solid. He defends. I think
any team that's in need of defense will take Alex Caruso.
Yeah. I mean, he's got so much value. He's still young too. He's getting in his prime. He's still very young. Like I said, great.
He won a championship with the LeBron James.
Lakers. Yeah, 2020 Lakers. So he's had that championship experience. He's gonna be a great leader for those who are coming in, and I like our young players too, like Dalen Terry and Dalen Terry and Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo Dosunmu, I watched him from his Morgan Park days, Illinois, to now being a kid from Chicago. I mean, I honestly want him to keep him.
I've really seen Ayo Dosunmu's game grow this year.
Yeah,
or this season.
For sure.
So, I think he's mostly because he was missing shots early in the year. Way off. I mean, they were hitting the front rim, and you can't miss that shot. That's a wide open shot. Then you saw him start to knock him down. Mm-hmm. But the number one thing I saw from Ayo is that he's at his best when he's in transition. When he gets that steal, he's off to the races. It's really tough for defenders to stop him.
Yeah.
And I guess you could probably say the same thing for Kobe White, except you probably be more. You have more trust in his 3-point shooting than you would about Dosunmu. Dalen Terry, we need more patience on, because he brings energy, but it's like when I watch him, it feels like he's going too fast. Like he's rushing things when they're trying to set up play. He's misreading plays in the other team.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really say that's his fault necessarily, because his rookie year, his rookie and sophomore year, he didn't get playing time. He was getting garbage time minutes, and it was like he was a lottery pick. He was our 7th overall pick, and we were not using him. So that's another thing I Billy Donovan as well. We didn't give him game time experience, like real game time experience. But this year, I think they're finally starting to do that for some reason. Of all the years, he needed to get that playing time this rookie year, but seeing him get those minutes now, that's going to be a good thing for him in the future.
All right, so next year, do you think this team will probably be fully healthy, hopefully? Do you think this is a play-in team still? Or do you think they're above that?
I don't know, honestly, because one, consistency. This team is not consistent.
Way too consistent.
Not consistent in the slightest at all.
I said this on episode 2. It's like you can't sweep Minnesota, who's literally the best defensive team in the NBA, and then get swept by Brooklyn, who is not even a play-in team.
Yeah.
You just those are just things. A year ago they had a run where it was like they beat Boston and Milwaukee in back-to-back games. I think they lost to the Thunder, who weren't at the time a good team.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Chicago Bulls. With this core, this team is not consistent. They beat the best team in the league, and then tomorrow, the next night, they'll lose to Detroit. Yeah,
or Washington,
and they can't do that. And also, when they actually play, they always play their best basketball in the first half. You cannot play that good in the first half and completely slump in the second half, because that's what they do that all the time, and it makes me so angry at times, because it's like you're giving up leads left and right. We're calling timeouts left and right, and Billy Donovan again not making adjustments to get them back on track. So honestly, I honestly think with this core and how the coaching is, I think they're still a play-in team, if not lower. Because if we're still not healthy, that's what I'm saying. Like, healthy, oh my gosh, the team is not healthy at all either. One day, we missed Lonzo Ball for 2 years now. We lost Patrick Williams this year for the whole season. We lost Zach LaVine for the whole season.
And you can't even trust Zach LaVine at this point.
No, you can't trust Zach LaVine at all. That's why I was saying, early in the season, you remember this conversation, I was telling you, the Bulls need to trade somebody now. I was saying trade Zach LaVine or Nikola Vucevic. I love these players. I love all these players on the team, but you got to trade someone who has value to get something new, like a shooter, like a pure sniper, like a Duncan Robinson type of player. They need that the most, in my opinion.
I did hear some reports that they are interested and 3 stars. It was from an ESPN reporter.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, it was Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, and Paul George.
Yeah, honestly, if I actually would the one I like most out of all of that is Paul George. In terms of the leadership,
he's old though. He's very old.
He is older, but him and DeMar DeRozan, I believe, as those two as a tandem. DeMar at the 2 and Paul George at the 3. The leadership is there, and Paul George being a great defender. He's been known for that, having a very crafty game,
especially with the Pacers. Like, he was at his best with the Pacers.
Yeah, and being known as a crafty player, knows how to score on all levels. The Bulls need that most, but also our bench is not deep in terms of, yes, we have Javonte Green, which I don't know why we got rid of in the first place. I love Javonte Green.
Yeah,
great defender, great his major athleticism, but we're just missing that pure shooter to come off the bench.
that consistent shooter.
Yeah, consistent shooter.
Because you're saying stuff about inconsistent. His shooting's been inconsistent. Because even Kobe White this year's been inconsistent.
Yeah,
although he went from,
but that's not his fault necessarily. Because I talked about this with some of my friends and my dad, me and my dad are big on sports and stuff like that. We literally said Zach LaVine doesn't let Kobe White shine. When Zach LaVine plays, Kobe White plays worse, and if you look at the stats, that's exactly accurate.
Yes, but do you think that that's a Billy Donovan, type of blame to throw towards? I feel like.
No, not at all, because that's Zach LaVine not passing the ball. Zach LaVine could go off for 36, and Kobe White's going to have like 8 points.
Because I remember there was a question. I was having lunch with my friends, and they said the same thing. Oh, was Zach LaVine holding Kobe White back?
Yes, 100%.
And one of my friends said no. It's Billy Donovan. Because he wants to construct the team around Zach LaVine instead of Kobe White.
Mm-hmm. But Kobe White is younger, and I believe when he's on, he's on. There's no real stopping him. So is Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is a great scorer, but he's not. The Bulls isn't. Him on the Bulls is not a right fit. I gotta say that.
Especially the contract.
Yeah, his ridiculous contract. Oh my goodness. That's one of the biggest problems the Bulls have, because our cap space, we're in negative cap space. We're like $79 million negative in the cap space. So we're not going to have any free agents anytime soon. You got to trade Zach LaVine for, you got to trade him. We'll pay half his salary, and the team he's going to pays the rest of the half. But, a place like Detroit, I feel like Zach LaVine could thrive in, because he will be a leader, because he's older. Cade Cunningham is still very young. He will be not only a leader, but also the main scoring option.
I think Zach LaVine's a cancer on any team. I don't think he's a leader.
Yeah, actually, I take that back on the leader part, because he's also, I think him, DeMar, and Vooch are the oldest players on the team, and Zach's not known as. Well,
Drummond's also.
Drummond as well. But I don't think Zach LaVine has that command of the locker room the way DeMar had it. Because I know DeMar DeRozan, the younger guys look up to DeMar more than Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's just he thinks he's still 25 and the star player. He's just not that player.
It's not your team anymore. Yeah, it's DeMar's team.
Yeah, it's DeMar's team in terms of the leadership. But yes, you are the leading scorer, but you're also taking very bad shots, and you're not letting your teammates thrive, which is something I've been complaining about Zach LaVine. The time is during his whole time with the Bulls, he doesn't pass the ball. He's he'll average 4 assists, but it's of course, it's the basic in the paint pass, or it's basic to the corner, but he doesn't try to get his teammates involved at all. I would love to see him get 22 points and 5 assists, 5 to 7 assists a game. I would like to see him try to do that, but if he's not gonna do that, he's gonna just focus on scoring. Then this is not the right team.
Do you think that, you kind of going back to what the Bulls need in terms of one more star, one more consistent shooter, would Donovan Mitchell be on your list? Because there's a lot of talk that he may not stay in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has been one of my favorite players for a long time. He's so fun to watch. But I think he could fit in this Bulls system, because he's not that type of scorer first. He is a scorer first, but he does play make. He's not Zach LaVine, where he just focuses on scoring only and just occasionally gives his teammates some shine. No, he will pass to his teammates. Donovan Mitchell makes the right play. That's what he does. Yeah. And Zach LaVine is just ISO, let me get the ball, get out the way.
Catch and 3 shooting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel I can't trust Trae Young now because of the injury, the whole surgery on his arm. Or not his arm, his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, and that really affected them against the Bulls.
Mhm.
You know, in that playing, he wasn't really. I mean, he hit what three threes.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that's just a little. Yeah, he slowed down a little bit because of that injury, but he decided to play on the injured. He decided to play with the injured hand, so that's not his fault necessarily. He wants to lead his team and he wants to win, which is I love that about Trae Young. He's wants
very
to
competitive.
win. He's very competitive.
Player.
He wants to win. So, but like honestly, with this offseason, he'll rest up his hand and he'll start shooting again. Honestly, I'm not worried about Trae Young shooting at all. Trae Young shooting in the future at all. I just
you hope the best for him.
Yeah, I hope the best for him 100%. But if we land a Trae Young, honestly, I would love if Lonzo Ball gets healthy. I would love to see Trae Young at the 1 and Lonzo Ball being that backup point guard and being that shooter because Lonzo Ball honestly when he does he's a very good shooter, especially now. I never thought I'd say that about Lonzo because he was struggling that badly
with the Lakers
years ago. Yeah,
Lakers and even Pelicans.
Yeah, I was not saying that. We were not saying that back in the day, but
I mean, there were expectations that he would be next Magic Johnson.
Yeah, that was.
I'm like, whoa.
Not imagine this. I heard Steph Curry a couple of times, but other than that, like Lonzo Ball, great playmaker, such a gifted passer,
defensive playmaker.
He's really the perfect 3-and-D guy and playmaking as well.
All right, last question before we call it a day. Starting lineup next year. Let's just name it: DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine, and this is a projected lineup.
Yeah,
Lonzo Ball. Do you put Caruso or Kobe White, or do you keep Lonzo Ball on the bench for a set of months? Until he feels comfortable.
I'd say, yeah, let Lonzo rest until we are fully sure he's ready to go. And keep Alex Caruso. No, keep... I'd say I would assume because he's mostly the starting point guard throughout the season. I like that. And then Kobe White the 2, DeMar at the 3, Vooch at the 4, and I'd say Andre at the 5. Because I like... the only reason I say that is because Andre's rebounding is significantly better than Nikola's, and Nikola isn't known for getting he's not he gets rebounds, but they're like the wide open rebounds. Those like rebounds you expect them to get. But in terms of 50-50 boards, I like Andre's rebounding skills in terms of that more than Nikola's.
All right, guys, that is it for episode 3 of Sports Freaks Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Cummings. The next episode of Sports Freaks Podcast, that'll be episode 4, will be about the Bears draft. Everybody's very excited for that. Yeah. Bears have a chance to take Caleb Williams and more on the offensive line. We'll see you guys in the next one.